Welcome back. Now, Sasco has welcomed the decision to place Unisa under administration. Professor Ihron Rensburg has been appointed as Unisa's administrator. This puts an end to the dispute between Higher Education Minister Vezinhlanhla and the university's Vice-Chancellor. And Nzimande's decision follows the recommendations of an independent assessor, which found financial and maladministration of a serious nature. Let's discuss this with Sasco President Vezinhlanhla Simelane. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it. Maybe just first tell us why you welcome the fact that Unisa has been placed under administration.
Thank you very much. Good evening to you and good evening to our viewers at home. The reason why we're welcoming the decision by the minister, it's because of the assessor's report that indicated that there are many challenges in Unisa in relation to maladministration and issues of governance and so on. So those challenges resulted in ensuring that there are challenges, especially when it comes to students-related matters. So what we are interested in is the stabilization of the university. So that's the reason why we welcome the intervention from the minister.
And do you think, placing an institution of Unisa, of such a magnitude like Unisa under administration is quite an intense move. Normally this is done at the very last resort. But do you think that this is really going to bring the stability that you're calling for to Unisa?
Thanks very much once again. The first intervention from our side, maybe from the student movement, we have never called for, in terms of when the matter started, we've never called for Unisa to be put under administration. We called for some intervention to stabilize the institution and so on. As we are correctly saying that administration is a last resort that can be done by the minister, whom is given powers to put any university under administration. The decision came after many interventions were made, and you could see that challenges are continuing in Unisa. So therefore, the best solution is to put the Unisa under administration. We do believe that even when it's under administration, those who are responsible for the processes, they must not take too long to ensure that they bring stability into the university.
Okay, Vezinhlanhla, I want you to maybe just speak to us about the realities of students. I mean, we've previously been seeing what's been happening with NSFAS. There was intervention there. But, at the end of the day, when there's instability in these institutions, it affects students. And that is your biggest priority, is it not? What are the realities that students are telling you that they perhaps encounter and face at Unisa?
You see, for instance, we are mentioning a very important matter of NSFAS, and today we have issued a statement in the form of a Progressive Youth Alliance that says the interventions and the delays that have been happening under the scheme had a bad impact in terms of distribution of allowances, in ensuring that our students are in a good position to study. They must receive their money to buy food and so on. So one of the impacts that is coming from NSFAS is the delay in terms of responding in relation to those people who are students whom they were rejected by NSFAS. It has an impact. There are students even today who have not received their allowances from NSFAS, who are receiving calls each and every day that we have not received our allowances, not only in Unisa, but across the country. They have not received their allowances. So in Rwanda, they are now beginning to write their examinations, and since January, they have not received their allowances. Those are the challenges that we are facing. And another matter that we are also anticipating is the question of accommodation. Accommodation is also a crisis. We may not be speaking about it now, but I'm just telling you that next year, during January registration, our Right to Learn campaign, we'll have many challenges that will relate to accommodation. And also, we have seen what has happened in NSFAS. We have always raised the question of the direct payment system to say we are not opposing the system per se, but how the manner in which it was implemented, that is when we began to have problems, where you have the ZACA distributing money, the local distributing money. When we raise these matters, at some point, they are never taken serious. But now, there's evidence that even the appointment of those companies was wrong. And we are saying to NSFAS that we don't want a situation where at the beginning of November, where our students are supposed to receive the allowances, they are not going to receive allowances because they're going to cause chaos in this country. And we can't allow a situation where people are going to examinations and there is no allowances received. But we have seen NSFAS statement committing that they'll be able to issue allowances. We're just waiting for them. If they're unable to do it, through our statement that they've issued in the form of PYA, YSL and Youth League, we have said they want to march to DHET if such things are not implemented.
Okay, just lastly, do you believe and do you have confidence in the Minister of Higher Education, Dr. Blade Nzimande, to be able to deal with all these issues? I mean, I had an engagement with him just this previous week about NSFAS and the CEO being dismissed. And him really saying he's left it up to the board to deal with all of these issues and now placing Unisa under administration. So there obviously are a number of issues within higher education that need to be addressed. Do you believe that the minister is dealing with them sufficiently and to your satisfaction?
In our view, especially on the question of NSFAS and Unisa, the interventions, I don't know, maybe it's informed by government processes. But the interventions take very long for them to be able to implement what they're implementing. And for instance, in NSFAS, when we raised these issues of distribution of allowances, long time ago, because the process started, I think, just after registration to distribute resources, we've raised these matters. But you can see now when they took a decision to intervene on NSFAS. On Unisa question, it did not start yesterday. And as I've said earlier on, that you've never said they must go for administration. But as and when time goes by, you could say that administration is a solution. But maybe to answer your question, we are a little bit worried because the interventions, they take very long. Change is very much urgent. And we do believe that we need to ensure that you speed up processes. If there's a crisis, you don't have to wait for too long for one to be able to intervene. So we're calling upon the minister not to delay on these interventions, because when there's a delay on these interventions, people are directly affected, our students, whom become the majority shareholder in universities.
Okay, thank you so much for your insights. We do appreciate it this evening. And any word for the Springboks? Are you hoping that they win?
We definitely, as I'm sitting here, I'm about to go and join our comrades who are watching, who are about to watch the game, and we wish the boys well, and we know that we won't be disappointed. And we saw our president travel to watch them, and we believe that we'll come back with a trophy to celebrate in this country. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Thanks for your insights. That is the Sasco President Vezinhlanhla Simelane speaking to us about issues around Unisa being placed under administration, but also issues at NSFAS.